Hello Virgo, so I'm doing your weekly reading for November 18th to the 25th. I'm going to take a look at what is going on in your situation. We will find out why it's happening. We'll take a look at what is going on in your blind spots. We'll figure out what it is that's working for you. And of course, we'll look at how it is all likely going to play out as well. So you have got... Interesting, because I've just said that word. So, planning, setting intentions, and optimism. Okay. Now, they do say that when you're planting seeds, you're planting hope, because you're hoping for the best possible outcome. Okay. You're hoping that that seed will germinate, it'll take root, and it'll grow. And it'll grow into something spectacular, so that then you can reap your harvest. Okay. You're sowing the seeds of hope. There is planning here that's going on. You're setting your intentions. And as you can see with this card, you are in alignment as well with that crown chakra or the third eye chakra all lit. You're operating, I feel, purely off of instinct and intuition with this one. There is this general feeling of optimism, like, yes, this is going to work, or this is going to work this time. I'm going to do this thing. It's going to be amazing, right? And then you've got the pine tree at the bottom of the deck. Vitality, longevity, and perseverance. So the message here is, more recently, you might have been knocked down on your arse because the pine, they do take a lot of knocks, but they're very, very strong. Okay, it's literally a message all about being resilient. So this one is saying, you might have been knocked down on your arse, but you're not out of the game. You're definitely not out of the game, not by a long shot. Now, the general vibe with this energy is this week, it is going to be the optimum time for you, Virgo, to start new projects, to plant new seeds, to take on new things, okay? To start new cycles, right? This message is saying, Virgo, you're ready. You're more than ready. So it's time to get to work, okay? Yeah, the King of Cups energy. Love, compassion. I'm feeling with this one that, I mean, it's a very caring energy, right? And then you've got the Queen of Swords. So, yeah, empathy with boundaries. Learning to help others, but with boundaries. Learning that you can't rescue everyone. And oftentimes, you need to rescue yourself as well. Because the Queen of Swords energy, that's quite a... It is a hardened energy, but it's not a bitchy energy. Not in the upright. It's all about self-preservation, self-protection, being very wise. Let's find out more about that one. Can you tell us more about the Queen of Swords for Virgo, please? What's going on with this Queen of Swords? It's possible that that you're going to be dealing with a lot of people this week, Virgo. That you could be the go-between between a lot of people. You've got the Hierophant that's coming out squiffy. You're changing things. You're doing things very, very differently. Changing up your normal day-to-day routine. There's also indications here that you have opened someone's mind, or you're opening your own mind and learning to do things outside of your usual routine and habits, okay? Whenever the Hierophant comes out squiffy, it indicates, okay, the old ways of doing things are no longer working, so let's try it the new way, and we'll see what happens. Right, was this King of Cups energy? Because I do feel that you're headed in the right direction, right? I do feel here that this week you're planting the seeds for a very substantial future project, or that there's a outcome here that is going to be substantial through the work that you're putting in this week. Like this week, it feels really, really important, really important. I know every day and every week is important, but there's something really quite significant about the energy of this particular week for you, right? Because it's indicating that you felt more recently like your hands were going to be tied, like you had no choice, you had no option, right? But this week, it's completely different, because you're kind of being left to your own devices here, where you can create your own routine, your own habits. It's that there is definitely a release of the old energy with that Hierophant coming out squiffy, because you've realized, okay, this isn't working for me, or like this is not going to work for me, someone else's way of doing things isn't going to work for me. So you're inventing your own ways of doing, your own ways of being, and it's really, really powerful, very powerful. Now with this King of Cups, it's being clarified with the Knight of Swords, and it's basically in the reversed position. Now that could be someone becoming a bit irate. Okay, it's very irritated energy. It's it can be very forceful energy also. Now, I don't know if someone is getting a bit touchy with you here. It's possible. Again, like I don't know where you're all at right now. If someone does come at you with I mean, they're definitely coming from a place of anxiety, and it's showing as aggression. If someone's coming at you this week like that, it's because they're extremely worried and they've got a big problem that they believe that you can help them out with, okay? So they're not necessarily angry and frustrated with you. It's more of they're taking that out on you. It isn't right, it isn't fair, and yes, definitely you will need to put this person in their place, because that is unacceptable. Okay, say for example, if you work in customer services, right? Now, 99% of the time, people are contacting customer services because that something's gone wrong, right? And so all of that frustration, it's all coming out. So the trick with that is try not to personalize it, try not to internalize it, right? And it is really fucking hard, really hard. I've worked in customer services for the vast majority of my life, so I understand that one. And it always is the person at the desk or on the other side of the phone that gets it in the neck, right? It's not right, it's not fair, but a lot of people, they do forget that because they allow their emotions to run off with them, and they're not able, for whatever reason, to control their own emotions, and so it just all comes out, right? So there is likely a bit of that's going on here, Virgo, but that could also be your own internal energies as well. So if you know that you're one of these that is constantly worried about everything because you don't know what the end result is going to look like, that is going to come out as like frustration, irritation. Your anxiety is really going to take center stage, which obviously is not going to be the best plan, right? Because if we don't control our emotions end up controlling us. And that's pretty much what this combination here of cards is saying with the King of Cups and the Knight of Swords reversed. Someone someone, either you or another person that you're dealing with, is definitely running the risk of allowing their emotions to control them, quite simply because they're worried, they're anxious, and they don't know what to expect because they're trying something new here. And it feels really, really important, okay? The Hierophant energy is emphasizing the importance of what this situation is, or the importance of getting this right, okay? The importance of doing things correctly. And there's someone here is really anxious and worried. Oh, but what if I make a mistake? What if it doesn't go right? What if this? What if that, right? So try, if you can, Virgo, to remain in this optimistic, hopeful energy that we see in this sowing of the seeds card, okay? Right, so let's take a look at why this is happening. Spring, rebuilding, awakening, and rebirth. Because it's the right time for you to plant these metaphorical seeds, okay? It is the right time for you to launch this new project, or it's the right time for you to be making this particular life-changing decision, okay? Everything about this is saying it's the optimal time. You are resilient, you are strong, there is longevity behind what you're doing, okay? It is going to yield results. You just don't know what those particular results are going to be right now. And that is the crux of your anxiety. Can you tell us? Oh, okay. They just landed in my lap. Reversals. Okay, so the Three of Swords reversed and the Eight of Swords reversed. Beautiful energies, okay? Because it's not about escapism, it's not about ignoring the problems, it's about processing it and working through it, okay? Three of Swords reversed, that's healing, it's recovery, it's no longer, remember with those emotions and how we've to control our emotions, else they control us. This is someone who got the memo, okay, with the Three of Swords and the Eight of Swords both in reversed. Eight of Swords reversed is freedom. It's freedom of mind, soul, it's freedom of thought, it's also expansion and expanding on your ideas, okay? And it's to clarify this spring energy, which is about a lot of growth. It's about the earth starting to wake up again. It's about planting those new seeds, right? Springtime is one of the best times, depending on your seed, of course. You know, that is the time of year where most people do start planting their seeds, right? And it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. And then you've got the work after that where those seeds need to be tended to and nurtured and taken care of, right? Everything has its time. Everything has its season. And this week, Virgo, because you're making these beautiful changes here, because you refuse to just go along with the way that things have quote unquote always been done, because you're, I want to say you're being really quite inventive this week. It's causing this expansion, right? And it's really emphasizing to you your own abilities. Now, whatever this one is, it's come out squiffy. The High Priestess, yeah. Listening to your higher self. Again, you're vastly working off of your own instincts and your own intuition this week. And it's paying off exponentially. It's paying off. With that one coming out ever so slightly off center, there's still a thought that's going on where you're like, okay, but am I really doing the right thing? But am I? And that there's this little bit of confusion here, almost as if you're needing some type of validation that you are absolutely doing the correct thing, okay? Can you tell us more about this expansion of the mind and this liberation that's coming through? Okay. These are a bit off-center as well. The Queen of Wands and the Knight of Wands. Interesting. Because because that can be aggressive and impulsive behavior when it's come out like that. And the Queen of Wands, that's like cattiness, bitchiness, queen bee. Okay. Interesting. Let's take a deeper look into this energy, because that is very two-faced. Did I just see the High Priestess again? Yeah, we did. The High Priestess. Okay. So apparently, Virgo, you have been very silent about someone else's shitty behavior towards you. And their shitty behavior towards you is the catalyst, because this is why this is happening. Someone's shitty ass two-faced behavior towards you is literally the catalyst behind why you're now planting new seeds. Why you're now taking on either a new job or a new project, or it could be a new connection, a new relationship. Again, just take it as it resonates, but there is absolutely new energy, new creations that's going on for you this week. And this person's the catalyst. It might be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sag. It doesn't have to be. It could be a Pisces also, but again, it doesn't have to be. The way that this person does things, you don't like. You don't like, because it's very dishonest. It's very shallow. And it's almost like the way that this person does things, or the way that they encourage others to do things, it keeps them stuck. And you don't like that. You don't agree with that. So that's why you're looking at doing things differently. Okay. It's a bit of a strange one. What's going on in your blind spot? The walking staff, support and encouragement. So you don't know it yet, but you are being encouraged to pursue whatever this endeavor is that you're currently pursuing. Okay. Because it's in your blind spot, I do get the impression that there are certain people who are going to be not just rooting for you, but kind of depending on you succeeding, right? Oh, no pressure there then, Virgo. Now again, I don't know if this is going on a big scale or on a smaller scale, okay? Again, you're going to know what this is about. I'm not a psychic, I'm an intuitive. But this is about you supporting others, right? And I feel that there is a symbiosis with this particular message, because it's in your blind spot. So by you supporting others, they in turn will then support you, and vice versa. With others supporting you, you in turn will then support them. And I do feel that it is important that you do succeed, right? And you will succeed because of that sheer determination and that grounded energy that's coming through with this reading. You are very, very realistic. You know exactly what it is that you should do. You know exactly the steps it is that you should take. And I feel that you're not expecting to be supported and cheered on, but you are. And I feel that the results that you get is going to be quite unexpected for you as well. Okay, let's take a deeper dive into that one for you. Can you tell us more for Virgo? What's going on in Virgo's blind spot, please? Oh, Judgment, yeah. Blind spot, awakening, you're triggering, okay. Yeah, you're triggering other individuals' awakening. You're triggering other people to be self-aware, I want to say. Okay. Because see, with those trumpets, I feel like you're making some sort of an announcement here. I feel like you're communicating with people, you're telling people stuff, and they're listening. Because of the way that you're delivering your message or your messages, it is getting attention and people are listening. Okay. It's triggering something deep within people that they don't necessarily know what that is, but they definitely can feel it. Okay. Also in your blind spot, Virgo, I feel like this project or this endeavor that you're currently planting the seeds for, it feels good to you. It's almost as if you know not just the importance of what you're doing for right now, but you know that it's important for the future and the future generations as well. Because I'm not going to lie, I'm definitely getting like a Ten of Pentacles-esque feeling off of this one, and that's really unusual because I don't normally get another card's energy that comes through when I'm looking at a tarot card, right? Sometimes it'll happen, but it's really rare, right? And I'm just looking at that one, and I'm getting like the future, what the future generations stand to gain from the work that you're doing right now. So like this could be going on within a family unit for you, or this could be going on on a much bigger scale that I don't know about, because obviously I'm not a psychic. And your decisions and the stuff that you say right now, it's going to impact generations of the future. So you're not necessarily planting these seeds so that you can see the results in your lifetime. I feel like your mind, because of that sheer expansion, I feel like your mind is very much focused on who in the future is going to benefit from the harvest, as it were, okay? So it's a lot like, I don't know if you've heard about the Chaos Gardeners. They are society's unsung heroes. They've been going around, and be careful with this because it can be a bit illegal in some places. They've been going around like planting wildflowers and wild seeds, and they've been getting like acorns and randomly planting them in places. It's called chaos gardening. The really cute ones that I've heard about is they've been planting like fruit trees and fruit bushes in these really random places. And they're like that, yeah, I know that this tree is unlikely going to benefit me in my lifetime, but the next generation's kids, they're going to come along and they'll be like, holy shit, there's a huge apple tree there, right? And they can get the benefits of that, and they can enjoy the fruit from that particular tree. So I feel like that's kind of where your head is at, because the seeds that the metaphorical seeds that you're planting right now, Virgo, you're not just doing it for yourself. Like I said, because of that mind expansion. That's where you got Judgment here. Beautiful. Okay, so what's working out for you? The Moth, mystery, concealment, and illusion. So they are pollinators of the night. Very, very important. Again, speaking of unsung heroes, that's literally what moths are, right? I know a lot of people don't like them because when they get into your house, they can cause destruction. But you know what? Everyone has that ability to be creative and destructive, and in equal measure, right? This is the unsung hero energy, Virgo. So because you're not expecting a huge fanfare, you're probably not even expecting a thanks, because of that very, I want to say, reserved mindset that you're in, that very humble place that you're coming from. you know what? That's what's working for you, because that's what's giving you the fuel, the fire to ensure that you're successful, because you're not just doing it for yourself. And I think that's absolutely beautiful. Again, mystery, concealment, illusion, and also unsung hero. Yeah, you're not doing it for thanks, you're doing it to make a difference. And fuck me, Virgo. Even though I don't know the specifics of what's going on here, I can definitely feel that energy, and I can feel that it's going to make a profound difference. Right, the Page of Pentacles, that one's come out squiffy. You've got the Ace of Pentacles, Seven of Swords, and the Five of Pentacles, and they're all reversed, okay, for what is working for you. Other people's opinions with this Page of Pentacles, take it with a grain of salt, okay, Virgo? Because here's the thing. When you're subconsciously triggering others to look at their own shit and to take accountability, which is one of the main messages we saw with that judgment, people don't necessarily like that, okay? People in general don't like to hear bad things about themselves, or they don't like to feel that there is, you know, badness within them, right? But the thing is, the darkness within it needs to be triggered, right, so that it can be acknowledged, because a lot of the most dangerous people on the planet are those who are in denial. Okay. So when you get negative ass comments, which the Page of Pentacles squiffy can definitely indicate, let it wash over you. Okay, take it with a grain of salt and recognize that those negative ass comments are coming from a place of darkness within another person that they are desperately trying to hide and cover up and keep concealed, okay? Now, obviously that's not your job, right? From what I can see, whatever your job is, you're doing it, and you're doing it very, very efficiently and very effectively. However, the vocal or verbal response that you're getting in return, you could be thinking, okay, so I'm probably just doing a bad thing here. And you're not doing a bad thing at all, right? Quite the opposite. So be careful when you're taking on other people's opinions or negative energies this week, okay? Because ultimately, you have to stay focused, right? With the Ace of Pentacles being in the reverse, it's saying, because it's what's working for you, any seeds, again, metaphorically, that you have planted prior to this week that haven't yet germinated into anything, then it's time to remove them and replace them with something else that is going to work, okay? The Seven of Swords in the reversed, that's imposter syndrome in this particular context, right? So you're being asked, the imposter syndrome that you're feeling, that whole bullshit of I'm not good enough, this isn't working, right? You've to weed it out. Because weeding out that negativity is really going to be of huge benefit to you. Okay? And then you've got the Five of Pentacles reversed, which is incredibly positive. Because that's no longer feeling like an outsider. That's a recovery. It can be a financial recovery, but I feel with the context of your reading, Virgo, this is more to do with recovery of your own personal growth, right? It might have felt like it was paused there for a hot minute while you took care of everything else, right? So you're overcoming all of that. You're overcoming all adversities. You're enjoying much better health. And from what I can make out, it's likely mental and emotional health rather than the physical, okay? It's a return of hope because you're starting to see very real, very tangible results of the work that you have been putting in, the work that you have been doing, right? And I know, like, a lot of people, they're under this misconception of, oh, well, you know, I just have to wait for my blessings. They're just going to land on my door. I don't have to do anything. I know that seems to be quite a common belief at the moment. You're one of those, though, that is very much, no, I'm not falling for that trap. I know full well, if I'm wanting something, I got to put the effort in, right? And that's what I'm saying, Virgo. Because you have been putting in the effort, you're seeing very real, tangible results here. And there is a recovery right across the board that's going on this week. And it's that hope returning for you that's very, very profound this week. Because again, your first card out was literally sowing seeds, you're sowing hope, right? So you're spreading that hope around as well. And people are really starting to pay attention. How it's likely going to play out, buds. Yeah, I said that you'd see very real, very tangible evidence, didn't I? So again, you plant the seed, right? You nurture it, you look after it, it starts to grow, and you end up with like a little twiglet or something, and then it starts getting buds on it, right? At the moment, again, metaphorically, let's imagine you're just looking at this little, what looks like a twiglet in the soil, and you're trying to figure out, okay, is there life in that twig, or is it died completely? Spirit's telling you there's life there, okay? There is life there. Something that you're doing, it is working, and they're putting emphasis on it is, right? So you mustn't give up hope. You mustn't quit. You mustn't give up now. What you've been experiencing more recently is just another dent. It's just another knock, right? There is life here with this buds, new beginnings and expansion, okay? Oh, the Knight of Wands. Now, we've already seen the Knight of Wands that's come out in your reading, haven't we? Yeah, it was right there. It was right there to do with difficulties, difficult energies, difficult people. The catalyst, the difficult individual that was literally the catalyst behind you going, okay, do you know what? I'm going to start something new instead, right? Yes, they are going to end up with egg on their face. That is inevitable. You are definitely proving them wrong. Again, that's inevitable. But more powerfully, because we've got this imposter syndrome, you're proving your negative thoughts, your own negative thoughts wrong. And you're putting your own negative thoughts in their fucking place. The same as you're putting this two-faced energy in their fucking place, right? Because that's a very determined energy. Because you rebelled, right? Again, Knight of Wands, that is rebellion. Because you rebelled, you're seeing that growth. And it shows me that you know and you knew exactly what you were doing, right? That's under there. The Page of Wands. Yeah, speaking of hope, joy and optimism, literally the Page of Wands. That's someone who is full of fresh ideas. That's someone who is taking the initiative. You're rebelling, you're taking the initiative, and you're going to see incredible results. Let's get you a healing message. You have a healing message for Virgo, please? Healing message for Virgo. Thank you. The seal. Huh. That reminds me of one of the Gallic legends about the seal skin. And it's literally, there's like fairy tales, Gallic fairy tales, where there were seal women. And men would often try and take advantage of these seal women because they wanted the seal skin all for themselves. So, and again, with this being like a Celtic druid type deck, it does have that vibe to it, Virgo, that you grew sick and tired of being taken advantage of people taking the piss, of people using you. And so this week you're taking a stand, and and you're like that. Do you know what? I'm going to start something new. I'm going to do it for myself, but mostly I'm going to do it for the future generations. But I'm going to keep the users and the losers and the two-faced ones far, far away from me. It's a message of empowerment. Right, number 33. So I don't know if you're seeing a lot of 333 this week. I mean, you might do. Right. Okay, so the Gallic word for this is Ron. And it says, Ron calls to you from the seal people of the sea. The Dan Nan Ron, which is the song of the seals, frightens many who hear it. It is mournful, and human sound stirs the heart of the listener to the core. It is a call to us from the depths of the unconscious, from the waters of our birth, from our beginnings on earth, from our brothers and sisters in the animal realm who are closer to us than we dare imagine. We fear this call, anxious that we might be drowned, overwhelmed by our feelings. Do not let your intellect imprison your heart, as the human imprisons its Selkie spouse. Yeah, that's that legend that I was telling you about. The magical seal. Opening yourself to the promptings of the unconscious, of the feminine, of your dreams and longings will bring transformation, healing, and love into your life. And its keywords are love, longing, and dilemma. And it's associated with shape-shifting energy. And of course, water. Okay. So I feel that that's what you're doing right now, Virgo. You're shape-shifting in the most profound, beautiful way possible. So the overall message here, your unconscious, your intuition, your instincts are singing to you, they're calling to you to try something, to try this new project, this new endeavor. It could be a new relationship. Again, I'm unclear of the specifics, okay? But it's a call, it is a pull. And it's a call that is coming from your depths of your unconscious, right? And Spirit is encouraging for you to act on that, okay? Because it's there for a reason. Now, others, I feel, are going to be a little bit intimidated by you guys this week. But again, you're not here for anyone else's comfort or for anyone else's convenience, okay? Just like those Selkie peoples. You're not here for anyone else's convenience, right? You're here for your purpose, and you determine what your purpose is. Right, so let's see if we can uplift this energy a little bit with some wonderful words from the shitty deck. Again, this deck is just a little bit of fun at the end of your reading, okay? Try not to take it too seriously. Right, let me see. Stop doing shit that you hate, whether it's to impress someone or to do something that's being expected of you, because that shit will just eat you up inside. Do what you love and be proud of that shit. Well, that was literally your entire reading in one card. All relationships go through shit, but the realist relationships get through shit. Okay? But yeah, that is what I have for you guys today. I genuinely hope that that reading has been helpful. For personal readings with me, my website is phoenixkeiatarot.com. The link for that is in my description box below. Thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.